What's going on, guys? It's me, Dreamliner Fan 2016 here, and today we have another model plane review for you guys. Today I'll be reviewing the engine model's 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A330-300. A rather interesting model to add to my Delta Airlines collection, and quite an interesting aircraft for my Delta fleet, and I'm really glad to have a model out of this. So I did like a review of this model back then, like back in 2021. But I do want to give a proper review on this model since this model has kind of like been in my collection for like since 2021, so that's kind of like around 2 years by this time. So I do want to review this model so I can see on how NG does their A330 mold. So I'm just super excited for that, and I hope you guys are as well. So as always, we're going to be starting with the box. So with that being said, everybody, let's begin the box review, and then we're going to move on to the model and so on. So with that being said, let's start off with the box. Alright, so here's the box of the NG model's Delta A330. A rather interesting box design compared to NG's boxes right now. So you got the Airbus A330-300 tiles right there. You got a faded Delta Airlines logo right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft with a blue background. Now, the difference between this box, it has a white border at the side, and then you got the NG Malls logo right there, 1/4 scale collectible malls, die-cast metal. You got the Delta Airlines logo and the Sky Team logo and the aircraft registration, which is November 806 November Whiskey. So what I was referring to is there is a white border that separates between like the box art right there. So this was actually present back when NG Malls does this. So they used to do this on some of their models back in like, I think when they started their operations until like 2021-ish, somewhere around that time frame. And I think they stopped doing that, well, kind of like stopped doing that somewhere in mid-2022. And therefore they just have like a full-on box art for most of like the frame right there. So quite interesting on how NG Malls actually used to do that back then when they produced their models. Here's one side right there. Here's another side with the Delta Airlines logo. Here's another side with the CGI image of the aircraft. Pretty much the same at this point. And then, of course, you got the A330 tiles right there. And you got the social media pages. Everything's pretty much the same. You got the warning hazards right there. And the unknown number of this model is 62021. So yeah, a rather interesting model, of course. And a rather interesting box design. And overall, I think this box art does look nice. It does look nice. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. It looks nice. And I think NG Malls did a great job on it. So that is it for the box. Let's move on to the model itself. And here is the model, looking absolutely very nice from NG Models. And yeah, really nice model in my collection, and I'm really fortunate to have a Delta A330 for my Delta fleet. So let's get started with the box review. Well, the model itself, I already did the box, but what I meant to say is we're going to get started with the model. So we're going to start with the port side of the aircraft with the cockpit windows right there. Then you got the nose shape of the aircraft. It looks so identical to like the real life counterpart of the plane right there. You got the pitot tubes right there. Not pitot tubes, well, these are the pitot tubes. And you got the outline of the radome, so this would be the radome over there. You got the Sky Team logo and your L1 boarding door right there. And I think that says like a free Wi-Fi decal right there. You got the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door right there. You got your top antenna. You got the Delta Airlines logo right there. And I'm assuming this could be like Delta's business class, or I think maybe Delta business class or first class. So it would run from like somewhere over here. You got some stack port details right there. You got other details like panels right there. Moving on to this section of the aircraft, you got your L2 boarding door, kind of has that same Wi-Fi logo right there. And then you got the Pratt & Whitney engine, so I think these are Pratt & Whitney engine. Yeah, I think they operated with Pratt & Whitney engines, so Delta's Airlines A330 operated with Pratt & Whitney engines. And I think NG Malls did a wonderful job on the proportional size of like the A330 Pratt & Whitney engines right there, so it has enough ground clearance. And what I also like is they also add like the landing light as well. Maybe this could be Delta Comfort, I'm guessing, and then somewhere over here like it could be Comfort Plus, or maybe I don't exactly know, but maybe this could be Delta Comfort or Comfort. Yeah, they call it Comfort Plus, so it might be from here. And then all the way somewhere over here it'll be All Economy, and it'll run all the way to the back of the plane. Here's the main landing gear, looking very nice. I think NG Malls also did a great job on replicating the main landing gear right there. I also like on how they added some extra details on the engine pylon as well. So, really nice job from NG Malls right there. Here is the winglet right there. They also did a great job on replicating the winglet of the A330. And then you also got your red beacon light right there. Moving on to the middle section. Well, I'm already at the middle section, but what I'm referring to is the wing section. So here's the wing section of the aircraft. You got your flap track fairings for the A330. Of course, you got some upper details of the engine pylon. You got your cold soaked fuel frost details right there. I also like on how it's formed in like a, well, they what am I saying? Oh yeah, they included like the red shade right there to represent the CSFF area. So this is where like this pad right here, this is where it will heat the wing up, therefore it will like remove the ice. And then moving on over here, we got the slat details right there. You got your flap track, fairings as I mentioned already. You got some spoiler details and aileron details right there, from ground spoilers to the flight spoilers. Yeah, it looks very nice. Moving on to close to the back area of the airplane, so kind of like situated somewhere over here. So here's your L3 door, or this can also be as like act as an emergency exit door right there. Here's your Wi-Fi dome right there and your back antenna right there. You also got your bottom antenna as well, looking very nice. And then moving on to the back area of the aircraft, you got the L4 door and the US flag right there. And then you got the aircraft registration, which is November 806, November Whiskey once again. And then moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, you got the APU, the auxiliary power unit. And you also got your horizontal stabilizer right there. And then moving on to, as I zoom out, we have the Delta Airlines upward and onward tail, looking very nice. And they did print the Delta widget very nicely on this model right here. And on top, you also got the ship number right there, so 3306, so very nice representation right there. Moving on to the front section, here's what the front section looks like. I think the cockpit windows looks absolutely well printed right there, they're well straight. And as I look at the engine fan blade detail, if I could try to like focus on one engine fan blade, you can see somewhat details right there, but it's kind of like hard to see. But they did print it, or like they put in some well details on the Pratt & Whitney engines right there. And then moving on to the starboard section of the aircraft, you got your R doors of course right there. And here's the forward cargo bin, so looking very nice. So this is where like you would place all like the cargo stuff right there. And moving on to the back section of the aircraft, you got the aft cargo door right there. This is where you will like load the ULDs right there. And then you also got the bulk cargo bin right there, which it's kind of like extra stuff, like they would place in like all the extra bags and everything in that on my behalf, yeah. So you got your aft cargo bin right there once again, and the bulk cargo bin right there. Moving on to a top section of the aircraft, so let me just position her like this. So here's a top view of the plane, looking very nice, of course with some various details, including that red beacon light, looking very nice. Moving on to the bottom, if I can like try to position her like so. So here's the bottom of the aircraft, also like the details right here. You got the Delta Airlines logo on the aircraft's belly right there. And then you also got your air intake details right there, some extra details as well. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft, so here is the front section. I absolutely love the wing, not exactly wing flex, the ground flex configuration of this aircraft. I think Engine Models did a wonderful job. And moving on to the horizontal stabilizers, or the back section, here is the back section of the aircraft, also looking very nice right there. So yeah, a very nice model to have in my collection, and therefore a nice model for my Delta Airlines wide-body fleet. Never had a Delta A330 model before, and yeah, I get to see a couple of Delta A330s in Seattle, Tacoma. And yeah, it's very nice to see many of them. I get to see a variety of, I think it's mostly like the 300s. I'm not sure if I saw their A330-200s as of late, but it's nice to see their A330-300s right there. So, of course, these aircrafts are a workhorse for Delta Airlines fleet, and yeah, really nice to have one in my collection. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the review, but we're not done yet, as I'm going to be going over the background information for this aircraft right here. So with that being said, let's move on to the background information of this aircraft registration. Alright, and let's begin the background information of this Delta Airlines Airbus A330-300, registered November 806, November Whiskey. So let's start off with some information from planespotters.net. So as you can see, the manufacturer serial number is 578. The age of this aircraft is 19.9 years, so kind of closing in at 20 years, so really nice to see right there. And of course, it's built as an Airbus A330-300, and the test registration of this aircraft is Foxtrot Whiskey Whiskey Kilo Delta, and the production site is in their Toulouse manufacture plant in Airbus, so Toulouse, France. And of course, the aircraft status is active, and this was last updated on April 10th of 2023. Now, because of the aircraft registration prefix being November Whiskey, this aircraft formerly operates with Northwest Airlines. So this aircraft was delivered to Northwest back in March of 2004. And of course it has 2 Pratt & Whitney engines. I need to look at the name of the Pratt & Whitney engines to be exact. And of course the fleet number is 3306, and then yeah. And then she got transferred to Delta Airlines following the merger on October of 2008. And yeah, so that's pretty much all the stuff I see from planespotters.net. But as I look at Airfleets as well, now I don't usually I use Airfleets too, but planespotters.net also features some nice additional details. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So everything is pretty much the same, but I do want to talk about the first flight date because it shows the first flight date on Airfleet. So the first flight date of this aircraft is February 10th of 2004. And of course, this aircraft is powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney PW4168A engines. And as I look into more detail from Airfleets, and yeah, everything's pretty much the same. So once again, she was formally delivered to Northwest Airlines on March 23rd of 2004, and then she was transferred to Delta Airlines following the Northwest Airlines Delta Airlines merger on February 28th of 2009. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the background information of this aircraft. Now, an additional note for this aircraft registration, I did get to see this exact aircraft at Portland International Airport during my Seattle winter trip. So it was very nice out there. It didn't rain, so I was thankful to have a great shot of her. And here's that picture right now. Overall, it was a very nice photo. She came from Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, and yeah, really nice to see this exact aircraft at Portland International Airport. So yeah, I get to see a couple of Delta A330s as well in Seattle Tacoma International Airport. I think I mentioned about that already. So yeah, really nice to get some varieties of Delta A330s. Of course, they operate their planes on many of their European routes, so really nice to see. And they also operate in some Asia routes as well, within the Pacific Northwest. So really nice to see a Delta A330-300 registered November 806 November Whiskey at PDX Airport. So really fortunate to see this aircraft. Therefore, it's a very memorable aircraft registration for me. So yeah, really nice to see her right there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. So with that being said, let's go into the conclusion and give you my overall thoughts on this aircraft. So another beautiful model from NG Models right here. Really fortunate to have this model in my collection once again. And yeah, I have been using this aircraft in my KRBL airport updates. Well, uncommonly to be exact. I kind of rarely use this. Mainly they don't really fly to California, but mostly are on their hubs. So LAX, I'm not sure if they fly to LAX though, but I know they fly to Seattle Tacoma, Atlanta, and outside of their hubs, they also fly to Portland International Airport as well. So yeah, very nice model to my Delta Airlines fleet once again. And yeah, really fortunate to have this model in my collection. And yeah, in terms of the availability of this model, it's already sold out, I think, in NG's website because this model got released. Not sure if it was in 2021 or somewhere in 2020, but yeah, this is a very old model, but I think it may have been 2021. But yeah, it's a very old model, and I'm really glad to have this model for myself. So hopefully you can find this in your collection, and hopefully NG Models can do a re-release of this Delta A330 right there. So that'll do it for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. And don't forget to check out all my other model plane content by clicking on that playlist, and you can check out all my model planes from reviews, unboxings, and more. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.